Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to this demo in which I will show you how to use GitHub Actions just to automatically deploy, build and deploy your Docker image using GitHub Actions. So since we are going to use GitHub Actions, let me create first a new repo. And yeah, as I mentioned, if you are just starting this course, this might be helpful just to show you how to create a repo and some tips that might be helpful. So I'm gonna go to GitHub. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna go again to GitHub. I'm gonna create a new repo. Just clicking here, and I'm just gonna call it, for example, actions and core test, something like that. Just gonna make it public. And I'm gonna add a README file and a git ignore. Cool. So the git ignore is going to be a Python template. So if you're not familiar with git ignore, it will basically it will stop keeping track of those files that you include in this file. So yeah, it will if you are using Git, all these files or some files that are similar to these names are not going to be tracked. Okay. So first of all, I'm gonna clone this into my, I'm gonna clone this in my local machine. So open terminal and git clone that. All right, so we have it here now, and I'm gonna open that in my VS Code folder to workspace. I go to desktop, and it was actions AI core test. Good. So now here it is. Here's the repo that I just created with the README file and the git ignore. So what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna copy paste this file so you don't see me like 20 minutes coding, and I'm gonna show you what this file is going to do. I just copied that, I'm just pasting it, and this is basically the file. So this is going to a class named animal reporter. Let me zoom in a little bit. So when I call for it, it will basically try to get the taxonomy and the class of an animal. So in this case, sorry, I just say taxonomy, but let's go with class. Let's go with class first. So I'm gonna run this, and I will show you what's the expected output. I'm gonna open a new terminal, and it's going to open here actions AI core test. Cool. You can see that I'm my base virtual environment, so I can just run with it. I probably can run that without any problem. So I'm gonna go with Python, and this is called animal.py. And it's going to ask me to enter the name of an animal. So I'm just gonna go with koala. And oh, sorry, I forgot to put print here. Nice. Just saving the file and running that again. So let's see what happens if I run this with koala. And yeah, it's basically saying that's a mammal. Nothing really fancy, but it's going to help us just to set an example on this. Okay, so now that we already have our animal.py, let's create the Docker file. And the Docker file, well, if you don't know what Docker is, it's basically it's an application that will allow us to run different images with different applications regardless of the operating system. So it doesn't matter if you're on Windows, Linux, or Mac. Then the application that you're creating should run without any problem. Should, I say should because yeah, you probably will find some errors on that. But initially, the idea is that you are normalizing the content of your application. So yeah, you can create a Docker file which will set the instructions that you are going to use to build the image. And yeah, in this case, I'm gonna go with a Python image. 3.8. And just to make it quicker, I'm gonna go with the slim buzzer. Then I'm gonna copy all the content of my directory into the main directory of the Docker container. And then I'm gonna install the requirements. Oh, sorry. You can see that the requirements are basically beautiful soup and request. I'm just gonna copy paste that so I don't waste time. By the way, if at any point you have any question, just raise your voice, interrupt me if you want. Don't worry about it. Cool. So we have the Docker file, and from the Docker file, I'm just gonna install the requirements. So I'm gonna say run pip install requirement.txt. And finally, just like the last command when we are running the container, will be cmd. And I'm gonna go with Python to gonna run animal.py. And I think that should be it. Let's give it a go. So I'm gonna go with sudo docker build. I'm gonna build the image. I'm gonna name it animal, for example. And I'm gonna say that the Docker file is in this same directory that I'm currently in. Cool. So now it's building the image. Nice. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this warning. Everything will be run fine, I think. And I'm gonna run one thing now, and I'm gonna directly run this the animal image that I just created, and I want you to tell me what I'm going to do wrong. So let's see if it works. Well, I mean, it's working so far. Shouldn't be any problem. Maybe in the meantime, oh no, okay. Sudo, I'm gonna run that container, okay? So, animal. Okay, so I think that's it. I think I name it animal, right? So can anybody tell me if this is going to work? Or whether it's going to throw an error or not?
Do you need the interactive tag, the int?
Yes. Very well. So I'm gonna run that without the interactive tag, and we can see that, yeah, it looks like it's working, but then it says end of the file when reading a line. Okay, so yeah, we need to make it interactable because the Python file was asking for an input, and if we don't make it interactable, then it will just wait forever and it will throw an error. So if we add that it, then we will be able to run that without any issue. And for some reasons, going very slow today, but looks like it's working fine. Okay, so our image is already prepared to be deployed. Let's do that. Let's do that on using GitHub Actions. So we are here. First of all, what I'm going to do is push these changes into our, I'm gonna push these changes, the local changes into our into the GitHub repo. So first of all, I'm gonna add everything. Okay, I've already added everything, and let's take a look if that worked. Git status. And yeah, now it says that all these 3 new files have to be committed. So let's do that. Git commit, and the message that I'm gonna give is, I don't know, first commit, which is the usual one. All right, so all of those files have been committed, and now I'm gonna make a push just to send these files to the GitHub repo. Git push. And there we go. Now it's even telling me from my Slack account, but if I refresh this page, we can see new files in my GitHub repo 20 seconds ago. So yeah. All right, so let's create a new action. In this case, we can just configure a new one, starting from here, Docker image. let's see what we have here. Yeah, it's basically going to build it, but we're not pushing or we are not doing anything. I'm just gonna give you a tip on this. Instead of going with the one that you can find in Actions directly, I recommend you to go to the Docker documentation, or just simply go to Google and look for build and push Docker image GitHub Actions. And in Google, look for the Docker documentations. And here, yeah, it will give you all the steps. You can just simply copy paste everything. The first thing that it's going to ask us to do is to establish a personal access token from the Docker Hub. So it will grant access to GitHub to push the content, to push the new image to my to my account in Docker Hub. I've already got one. I'm actually going to delete this one because I'm not going to use that anymore. So I'm going to create a new access token. I'm just going to say, I'm just going to call it demo AI core. Just give it read, write, and delete permissions, and that will be it. Don't close this if you haven't, don't close this unless you already know that this access token is secured. So we have to set that secret in our GitHub account. And we can do that by going to the repo. Oh no, this is not the one that I was looking for. Yeah, we can go to our repo, go to settings, here in secrets, actions, and here we can set a new repository secret. Let's see how it's, okay, I'm gonna copy that. And the value of that secret is this access token that we have just generated from GitHub, from Docker Hub. And we are going to call that Docker Hub access token. Here the name and here the value as secret. And we need to define another secret, which will be our Docker Hub username. Copy, paste, and in my case, and that's it. We already have our secrets that that no one else are going to be able to get access to. So this is only accessible by GitHub Actions, or by the or by the environment variables that are set in our GitHub repository. But if you can see that, for example, in this case, this repository is public, anyone can access to it, but those secrets are hidden from anyone that is connected to our repo. Okay, so going back to the actions, let's create a new one. We can configure, for example, this one. But as I mentioned, instead of going with this one, go to the documentation and just follow the steps. It's super simple. So in this case, you can just name your action however you want. In this case, they are calling it CI, as in continuous integration. And it's going to be triggered whenever we make any change in the main branch. So yeah, let's do that. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Actually, you can just trigger this event whenever you want, but let's just follow the instruction. If you want to, I don't know, make it manually trigger, you can also do that. But in this case, let's just go with this. So jobs are going to, this job is going to run on an Ubuntu, on an Ubuntu operating system. And what else? Oh, sorry. In the meantime, let's open this, which I will be using later. I'm gonna close this, and yeah, there we go. This is basically what you have to do. This is everything you have to do. So let's paste that, and let me explain just a little bit here. So are the steps that the job is going to do. This job is going to first check out, or is going to check all the files that I have in my repo. So the animal.py, the Docker file, will be accessible by this GitHub action. Then I'm gonna log into Docker Hub. So here it's basically using this action here, version 1. This is basically the first release they are using, and this is going to give us access to our Docker Hub account. You can see that is using the username and the password, and here is using secrets.dockerhub username. So that's the value, or it's going to be replaced by the value that we have just given to it in the secrets section. Then it's going to build. It's going to build the set up. Oh yeah, sorry. Before that, before building the image, is going to set up everything required to build the image. And finally, yeah, finally we are building the image. So here it's saying, all right, so where's the Docker file found? So here in the main repository, in the main directory, what's the name of the file? Docker file. And do we want to push it? Yeah, why not? I'm gonna push that into the Docker Hub, into my Docker Hub account. So yep, this is going to be replaced by my username. And here, instead of calling it simple whale, I'm gonna call it animal. And this latest thing here is going to be the version of the image. So I'm just gonna commit this, commit new file. Yeah, looks like it's working. And if we take a look, let's, yeah, now you can see that there's a yellow circle here. If it's yellow, it means that there's a workflow running on the background. Let's see the details of it. Setting out a job, is setting up the Docker building, and now it's probably building the image, and it will be surely pushing it to the Docker Hub. So let's go to my Docker Hub account. Oh yeah, you can see this is my Docker Hub account. I just have two different repositories. So two different images. And let's see what happens now. Now that this action has finished, let's refresh this. And now we have a new one. Imagine X animal. All right, so let's test that out. I'm gonna connect to an Ec2 instance just to show you that I'm not cheating and I'm not using my personal computer. I'm gonna launch a new instance. Well, actually, I have a lot of them running. Probably I can just go with one of them. I'm just gonna connect to this one, okay? And click on connect, and this is the this is a command that I have to run in the terminal to connect to my Ec2 instance. So if I go to Ec2 teaching, this is where my key, my PEM key is stored, just to SSH to that Ec2 instance. So yeah, we are here in, well, actually it's not really like this. So I'm gonna open this one. Cool. Can you see it well? Can you see everything well? Cool. All right. So yeah, I'm in Teachable January, but I need to go to another directory. So cd ... to go to the parent directory, and from here I have to go to AI Core Teaching. So AI Core Teaching, and let's take a look at the list of files that we have here. Yeah, AI Core Test PEM is there. So I can just copy paste. Well, I can just paste what I just copied earlier to connect this machine to the Ec2 instance that is running. And maybe it's not working now because I need to check the credentials. Let me maybe I need to check the input. Sorry, security, and I'm gonna edit this security group. If you're familiar with this, yeah, you know that if you are going to SSH to a new or to a Ec2 instance, the more secure way to do it is that you define that the only source that can be connected to that Ec2 instance is your IP address. But in my case, I think it has changed or something. So I'm gonna edit that inbound rule, and I'm gonna delete that one. gonna put my IP address. Yeah, looks like it has changed. So I'm gonna save it. And now, that was taking a lot. Oh, look at that. All right, yeah, it has connected now. I think, yeah, now it's connected. So let's download and run the Docker container, sorry, the Docker image that I just pushed to Docker Hub. So I'm gonna go with sudo docker run my username x/animal latest. Oh, and before I forget, I need to put IT. Okay, yep, that's working fine. Docker is going to basically download this image from here, and it's going to run whatever we program it to do. Enter animal. Yep, you can see that it's working fine. So I'm gonna go with, I don't know, dog in this case. Yeah, another Momo. Nice, it's working. It's working. But once again, there's something that I don't really like about this container wall, about this file. It's basically telling me just Mammalia and doesn't tell me a lot about it. I want to make some changes. I want to make something a little bit different. So I'm gonna, instead of just saying Mammalia, I want to say something like, let's say, this animal, for example, dog, animals belong to the whatever class, right? So for example, if we go with dog, it will print something like dog belongs to the Mammalia class, something like that. Okay, so do I have to go through the same process again? Oh man, that sucks. That's really tedious. But that's why I just put this this action here, so I don't have to go through the same process again. First of all, let me pull my changes before anything. I'm just gonna pull some changes here, and I'm going to push now. So as you remember from my actions here, if we take a look at actions, the Docker image will be pushed whenever I make a push to the main branch. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I'm going to say, I'm going to commit all my files, commit, and let's say sorry, that's a nice sentence or something like that. And I'm gonna push it now. So as soon as I push it, all those events are going to be triggered. So all these steps are going to be triggered. And you can see that, yep, now it's running an action on the background. Cool. So I'm here again on my EC2 instance. Let's give it a couple of minutes just to make just to change the image again. Let's see if it has been loaded already. Not yet, not quite yet. Maybe now. 7 minutes ago. Okay. 7 minutes ago. All right, there we go. A few seconds ago. Now it's updated, and we can go to the EC2 instance and make another pull, just to update the one that we already have. Because if we try to run this directly, it will try the one that we have downloaded here previously. So I'm gonna make a new pull. So sudo docker pull. Oh, actually, I'm a little bit lazy. So instead of typing everything from scratch, I'm just gonna go like that. All right, so now let's see if it works. Enter animal. I'm gonna say dog. And now my image has been updated with a nice sentence. So yeah, there we have it. We don't have to go through all the process of building, pushing, and all of that manually. We can just set a GitHub action that will be triggered whenever we make a push to main, and yeah, it will automatically update our image on the Docker Hub, and we can pull that wherever we are. So right now, if you are on your local machine and you run this command, docker run it and this image, you will see something like this. Of course, you have to have you need to have Docker installed. But if you already have Docker installed, you will see this that has been updated very recently. Cool. So that was it. That was a demo that I wanted to run, and you can see that well, it will be helpful whenever you go to the web scripting project, and you will see that you need to CI/CD a little bit on your Docker image and just push the updated version of your Docker image whenever you make a push to your GitHub repo. So yeah, if you have any question about how to do that, how to tackle that that task, just remember this demo. I will upload this video, and yeah, I hope you liked it. If you have any question, yeah, feel free to go ahead and yeah, shout it out.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you show the YAML file?
Sure. Which one? The actions one?
Yeah, the actions one. Yeah.
Sure thing. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There we go.
Okay. I'm gonna runs on Ubuntu latest. What is it? Is it GitHub server? Or...
Oh, yeah. Basically, it's let's say that when you run a GitHub action, it's going to run on a GitHub server. It's going to run, so to speak, it's going to run on a different computer, right? That you have to specify what type of computer you want to, or what type of operating system you want to use when you run that. So yeah, you are going to run all these steps in an Ubuntu.
Okay, that makes sense.
Cool. Anything else?
Yeah, another question about this workflow. Something a bit, I'm feeling a bit tricky is about this access token, because usually I know with GitHub the access tokens are just last. They are common to make it not permanent. Well, let's say it should last 7 days or 30 days. And so in this workflow, how does it work? Do you keep it the same for all the time, or are you planning to change it every regular time, let's say every week, every month?
Yeah, basically, once you generate it, well, depending on the platform, for example, GitHub will let you choose between, I can't remember exactly how many days, like 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, or that they don't expire, something like that. So it will depend on on the level of security that you want to give to your applications. For example, if you don't really need to change it regularly, you can just leave it with no expiration date. But I think in this case, in the Docker Hub access token, as far as I remember, they don't expire. You can just have it there as much as you want. But the only issue, well, so to speak, will be that you only have a limit of 5 different access tokens. And yeah, all the secrets are going to be, once you set the secret, that once you set the secret in your repository, that will be, yeah, that will not expire. That will be there forever. And if you want to change it, yeah, there's no way to get access to the value of it. You have to replace it for a brand new one.
So does your secrets thing only work for your account?
Yes. I mean, only works for this repo.
All
Not
right.
for my whole account, only for this repo.
Okay. I was just wondering if you had, say, someone else pushes to main with a different account, whether that still works.
If you are a contributor or you're a collaborator in my in my GitHub repo, then you will also have access to them.
Right,
But
okay.
once
So,
again, you are not going to be able to see them because they are encrypted and all of that.
so you can't see them, but you can still use them.
Exactly.
Right, okay. So only one person has to do it, kind of.
Yeah, for example, if right now, if you down, for example, go to, I make you a contributor to my repo, you can also set a GitHub action with these values. You are not going to be able to see its value, but you will be able to use them.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Cool. All right, guys, if you have any other question, just reach me out through Slack because I have another demo now to run. Okay, and then I always run out of time, so I'm just gonna stop sharing now, and I'm gonna start the next one